in China pre the tournament. Hey, what team do you think was the best? They were like RAD by a mile because their unique play. Hey, same org, Vicky, different team, carrying on the mantra that they put there in the MEA. Love to see it here. First map up, Hell's Heaven. We're right back with Hydra.
I do have to pinpoint too, I like the decision to protect the Invisible Woman when they first see the protect on the Angela, because you know when it comes to disrupting the placements and Angela in general, something I've experienced within my own personal games when trying out the Vanguard, Invisible Woman is so good at making sure Angela cannot be in the right position.
How they want to put this thing together, but when the teams clash, that is when we're going to get the story. Wow, look at the right down the middle there, Vic, for which team is going to win it. 47% RAD, 53% Intergalactic.
Chat is as split as us basically here, Cozy. I don't blame them. Oh, okay. Okay, nice little freeze. And the protect, by the way, with that invisible, just invisible woman shield right there that you saw just in case. But the interruption came out and that kind of put a dent to their plans here because the portal was already used up and it did stop them amidst that invisible woman shield being placed there.
Yeah, here's where Bedtime Story, a lethal Peter Quill. We see a lot of this last time with him, and he's right back to it. Regis is another Star-Lord, but it's good to see them. Super Gomez, all these players are ready to roll. Pizzademon, an absolute demon there on the shark. But Bedtime Story going down quickly. Dongmin getting the quick pick there. Absolute cinema opening up with that aggression and point now as they're forced to back up just a tad. They can keep momentum forward, and this is where you have Angela is not always the greatest for that front line. Flying around, you see her. Can't get that early pick. Gilbert goes down. This is a rough start here for RAD.
Sometimes all you need is the fly swatter, and I guess in this case, Dongmin being able to call out the bad positioning of we saw from that Star-Lord before we see the swap up now. The Phoenix on board here. Pizzademon already having its Jeff, just trying to see if they can hold that for Fidel to call in that invisible boundary where they expect them to already be grouped together for it.
That's a good call out here. Bedtime Story is now resetting. That was the first to drop. And I worry a little bit about their sustainability on this particular lineup. Again, it's a bit funky, but sometimes that can work. And sometimes it kind of relies around these ability ultimates here. They are all online, ready to go. You've got that res. Gale, very smart player, Vicky, when it comes to awareness and where to be for that big perfection play here. As they're pushing in, Gilbert now going in. There's the prison. He's got the walls and perfect boundary. You've got the Phoenix to follow, but it is... Oh, my God.
This is what I was talking about. That was huge. They had no other choice but to group up, but was it worth it here? It absolutely was, because Guru and Bedtime Story light them up in that side corridor with nowhere to run. And that all started because they had no other choice but to use that invisible boundary against the Phoenix Ultimate and just allowed Pizzademon to get that eat up with its Jeff.
Talk about, like, if one thing doesn't work, do another, do another. I mean, they were going to go with the Groot tree. Then they're like, all right, let's throw down the Phoenix, the God from above, the Celestial, and then bam, we've got the Jeff ult that finishes the job in the exclamation point. 29% just like that to 45. Bedtime Story looking for the opening pick, and they have plenty of ults, both teams now, for what's going to be our Infinity War.
Now, one team banned out triple Vanguards, the other team banned out triple strategists, and with a group hug bringing everyone to go, Guru then follows up to put a group hug for himself, but it doesn't work out as Gale's in a perfect position to try to get this res. But this is the green light for Hoffman to keep this going again and again with these reset potentials here. Bucket Barnes coming into play. He gets a scoop up, but Pizzademon is being the demon himself. The Eye of Agamotto, it really only found Gilbert here, and Bedtime Story is the insurance policy to keep their feet planted on this point.
Oh, Gilbert now does get that wall that he wanted. Oh my goodness, what a clean sweep and absolute wipe. Yeah, I mean, Pizzademon, such a perfect name for Jeff, you know, Satan's greatest soldier, like I like to call him here. Oh my gosh, what a turnaround there. Hey, same thing happened on this map with Extinction. You know, they lost the first point and kind of turned it around. Intergalactic did use a good amount there. They've got the boundary, they have the Phoenix, but RAD can match it easily.
I totally agree. You know, Pizzademon, with Jeff being as cute as he is, you can't fool me between what is behind those eyes. Pizzademon having that ultimate online forkydog with the invisible boundary. Fidel's gonna have to be careful here because that's what they can expect once they're forced to be grouped up together once again. But a nice little pickoff from Bedtime Story with Gale getting that follow both Vanguards off from Intergalactic.
Yeah, you got two hit scan, absolute heroes, and that's what you love to see as now we have Doom closing in trade with Bedtime Story. forkydog, though, gets the other strategist out. That's going to be a big opener. Gale does it. We have a Angela cam, folks. Your eyes do not deceive you. The stab, the finish, going for that strategist. And finally, what elite DPS there from Angela. But Pizzademon getting it done. Jeff the Shark They do have the portal though, Vic, and the little...
Pizzademon taking that KOs too, just living true to the Jeff nature here sometimes as Flamay keeps Intergalactic alive for now as the invisible boundary was countered from RAD Esports. Angela Ultimate here just bringing up together as Bedtime Story is the shish kebab that they need. The follow-up, the double KO with Gale and Gilbert being the final blow for this first round.
Yeah, Bedtime Story absolutely saying goodnight there on our first map. Super Soldier Factory up next, and that team just had to kind of get some things rolling. And when I say that they lost that neutral fight, I'm like, I don't love this team for the neutral right away. It's kind of the ults that they have behind them, right? You know, we saw that Vicky Kitty with the Jeff ult, and then also finally Gilbert getting that huge tree in the imprisonment.
And look at this right now currently with the stats, right? forkydog out here, 13 healing, 13k healing, but Flamay has been trying to keep everybody alive with 17k here. As on RAD Esports, you could see the damage flowing here. Bedtime Story with Phoenix, and as you mentioned too, Cozy, Gale was on top of that placement, not only getting that res, but also in terms of the aggression for his positioning.
Hey, Guru, by the way, 15-0. Hasn't been eliminated there from Angela. Not the craziest damage, but that is not the role of Angela, right? And I love that he's starting to perfect that hero at play. We saw Sentinels play them, and they got the dub, and it's looking good so far for RAD. Now, moving forward here into the ult economy, it's definitely it's definitely in favor of RAD by a country mile.
See, the Angela gameplay, this is what I came for when I was expecting the MRI Stage 2 with Season 4 right here. Bedtime Story going right back over to that Phoenix, and forkydog with the pull in calls out dongmin, who didn't even have an opportunity to even swap to a diamond form to be able to get disrupted, and now the group hug has set RAD Esports in the driver's seat. forkydog taking them all up for himself.
I've seen this team play a lot. I've watched the streams. If you guys want to see the POV, you can go over to Gale and friends and Guru. But listen, this team's comms is elite. They are so good at calling things out, and right now we're seeing that come to life. You know, the teams we saw previously, great teams, but we're seeing now the elite when it comes to exactly what to do. I knew this Solaris of old team, now RAD, had what it took, and they're showing it right now.
See, keeping them up because they already have that res here from the Adam Warlock. Pizzademon 2 just waiting with Fidel having that invisible boundary, but somebody help the torch. Doomed going back to the safety of the intergalactic backline here because Angela is here to disrupt the piece, and it's Guru, and this is a perfect stage 2 to do so. But look at the explosions following up together as everybody's grouped up together. Pizzademon finding dongmin again, but with the group hug, and you got the invisible boundary. This is the green light right now for Pizzademon to eat everybody up, but it's just Groot that he takes the counter pick immediately as Hoffman has the answer to the It's Jeff with the Bucky Barnes utilizing that ultimate.
Yeah, so they were allowed to play a little bit more aggressive there, Vicky, right? Because you have the res. That's what you want to do. Try to get the Jeff ult if you can. But instead, it is the turnaround. RAD Esports, so they did exactly what was the game plan. Hey, go out there, be a little crazy. If you get eliminated, not a big deal. We'll get you right back in the fight. And just like that, they're back capped on that point. And not only that, Vic, Intergalactic used so much to win that. That is why going against an Adam is tough.
That's a very good point here, too. At least they got to almost 20% in this case. And you look at the ult economy, though, and RAD Esports, they used up a lot. They're about to have that Angela ultimate coming up soon, but dongmin with the Psionic Seduction could shut that down here, depending on if they could try to push in from this choke, because Bedtime Story is just unleashing so much of this damage output as the Psionic Seduction nearly blocked there from the enemy group walls here over to the other side, but still calls out Gilbert, who gets choke slammed and almost slammed against the wall as dongmin is going to be able to get that first KO.
Yeah, I got to give it to dongmin there. They were just trying to get a little bit of space, and they ended up getting a whole KO out of it, which is massive now as Bedtime Story's Forky and Gale, though, are going to just trade on it. Unfortunately, unable to go with what was happening now. Getting the allies out, has that tree once again, and bye-bye goes. I mean, so sadness there. Oh, wow. Yep. Goodbye, Blur.
It was so low.
We got the portal coming back, though, Vic, so once again, they can touch.
Recontesting now with overtime ticking away, having to look around though. They have the invisible boundary, the Angela. That was so scary. You know that dude clenched in that moment right there, avoiding the environmental KO. The slam down from Bedtime Story. The output of that same damage as dongmin goes out. Hoffman's going to meet him back in the spawn, and it's even through Flamay having that Luna Snow ultimate. The Groot hug though brings everybody together, and it's so much to think about with Guru also splitting their attention alongside Bedtime Story.
We are just seeing perfect comms come to light here. Guru with the big pizza to follow. This team knows what happened last time in Ignite. They will not get the same result. They refuse it now as we have Wolver and Hoffman trying to stall. More stall, but not enough. It's RAD in their unique comp, which I love that they've carried on this from the old RAD, and they got themselves the dub.
That's what I was wondering. Are we going to see unorthodox comps coming out from RAD? Of course, I shouldn't have expected any different, and we get to see the Angela in the spotlight. You love to see it with forkydog taking the MVP with the best recolor, by the way, on the Invisible Woman skin.
I mean, tell me who to even highlight there. I mean, obviously, Bedtime Stories did so well, Vic, but just across the...
Just disgusted. But you know what? I'm looking forward to some more plays like that as we get started here within our second round. The protection 2 on the Ultron here. I'm wondering if we're going to see that Mantis side by side, as that is not what I was expecting. All right, they have to get us a little bit here. This beautiful place, got to put it on the back burner because we are going on to Gigastrill, and we are getting started on Convoy as RAD Esports Guru has not moved away from the Angela as they are rocking that triple Vanguard, triple strategist with forkydog being on that rocket for the BRB.
Hometown advantage for Angela here in Asgard. Love to see the return of the one-wing Angel. Now Bedtime on that Magneto, switching from the Phoenix band, forced to go with what we saw as the triple Vanguard. And I love Guru here on Angela. It's great to play into this. Allows them to be very tricky here, but no, it's going to be Blur with the first pick on Bedtime, forcing them into a room of absolute death and chaos. Dongmin to follow. This is not what you want to see, and now we're going to get a strange portal back. Almost, yeah, definitely.
That is the group playground that you are working with inside that side corridor. Talk about all that damage. Oh my gosh, the placement on the rocket. Sia there too, up on the high ground, just giving everybody some notice as now it's Jeff comes into play. Flamay taking a little page out of what we had seen earlier on. forkydog also the problem, but it's going to be able to capture 2 just to isolate them and throw them back into Intergalactic's backline before Doomed is the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, and a good stagger there, too. I also like that we didn't see them use the Strange immediately. Now, Bedtime Story's going to that option. Flamay, good job just trying to get a little bit of a stall on and watching cooldowns. You couldn't get the Loki Lanterns out or anything with it. Here comes the portal now. They're coming to it, and look at the placement of the Star-Lord. Instant barrage, spin to win, as my buddy Shib says it here. In the Legendary to follow, Cowboys, guns up. Here we go, chasing, wasting, honestly, this ultimate. And, wow, what a hide-and-seek job from forkydog.
I mean, you didn't take care of the VRB. Was it worth it, though, for the Legendary? As you talk about it, as Hoffman tries to force out the ultimate from the backline. Pizzademon had gotten that god of mischief here as GilbertNoodle tries to follow up with the Feast of the Abyss. Fidel keeps everybody in Intergalactic alive as Blur gets frozen. Aya Agamotto finds Hoffman and Doom. Doom gets away in time. Same thing can't be said, though, about Hoffman as Gale gets to isolate him with a headshot.
And we got people all over the heroes with trying to switch to the Strange and more. And right now it's Intergalactic getting the game that they want here. And great job from Flamay, watching their Vanguards not get isolated and keeping them alive. And Venom escapes nearly. Gilbert, though, going down as well. And so we saw what is sometimes a 3-battle win turn quickly into just 2. They should be able to touch, though. Guru did get eliminated early, so he should be able to go on if they so choose. But we'll see what the shot call is.
Giving them some extra time here as Intergalactic gonna try to walk this over, but they have to consider that recontest. Yep, with the Angela ultimate, tries to bring them all together. Nice little stall here as It's Jeff gets activated. Now Flamay having that online here, trying to get everybody grouped up together and gets one, at least here in this case, as Pizzademon gets some revenge onto Flamay. Number advantage in favor, though, for RAD Esports for now, and here comes that Legendary from Doomed. He's putting it all on the table here with no sustainability as Flamay had gone down a little earlier and Fidel's making his way back, but that's with the Sia also coming in from forkydog to allow RAD Esports to recontest.
And better than the last one. I like that Legendary better than the last one. I mean, Heaven fell, and so did all of RAD with them enjoying the battle. That was a great job just getting that momentum back. Absolutely incredible awareness and sustain now as we have Gilbert trying to get back to the team and reset. Bedtime Stories going to that Peter that we know and love here. And on the defense, I mean, you gotta love trying to get this first hold on the third battle. Doom now farming back up.
Talk about the time right now, as less than 30 seconds on the clock, and Doomed is able to find that first pick onto Pizzademon, who can't use Itch Jeff for right now. Silent Seduction, though, as dongmin's just trying to find one person, looks back up at Guru, who's trying to float away as it ends at the very end, and now Bedtime Story slides in with that legendary. Look at that AMER Frostbeam, by the way, while at Bedtime Story is trying to utilize a statue to get out of the line of sight. Both strategists, though, in the backline are getting harassed by Bedtime Story, but they have that sustainability for now before Hoffman goes down inevitably.
A good cleanup there, and my goodness, it's overtime already. The bar is going down, and Gilbert gets 3 with Gale's help alongside it. And that, folks, is going to wrap this thing up on the first point. What an absolute dominant hold here. We do have the Strange Portal coming, but it's tick, tick, tick as it goes away. And wow, what a hold from RAD.
Not even the first checkpoint. RAD. They are
root. Now, Bedtime Story going to that Moon Knight, and Gale with the Storm. That's going to be lethal.
Guru also making that swap over to the Wolverine, obviously way better in this case than an Angelo when it comes to trying to break out of that choke. Let's see what they're going to be rolling out with here too. They'll have some extra shield here with that forkydog BRB, and then looking on the other side, as well as the BRB allowing them to recontest, but then looking with Intergalactic, who's been popping off out here. Doomed has been able to find 6 final hits thus far, over 10,000 damage here, so he's been pretty on point, and not only staying alive, but also putting in a lot of that pressure.
Yeah, one of my favorites of the old Shroud X, so fun to see them in the new team still have that success. This is what you love to see about the strategist meta right now. Pizzademon was Loki, a bit better of that defensive hold, right? But now you've got the Jeff pick. We saw Flamay have that. Now they traded roles, so we're seeing kind of the pro scene and when they like to play and what. I love looking at kind of the numbers and the intricate pieces of the game. As now we're going in, pushing in, and just like that, Guru does get a quick kidnap, but no success there. But it's going to at least get them backing up a bit.
Yeah, Gilbert was just trying to react right there with the walls, and another wall to meet them from Blur here over to the other side. You know what the goal is when you see Bedtime Story onto that Moon Knight. Same thing with Gale onto the Storm. They're just trying to break through this triple Vanguard, triple strategist lineup here through this choke. And look at Guru right now, who is slicing and dicing as Blur gets taken out. He's got the BRB to recontest from Hoffman.
What does this team do perfectly? They combo, and here it is. Conchu, the imprisonment. Goodbye, Intergalactic, sending them right back to space. I mean, we knew this team is locked in when it comes to combos. What is the best combo right now? It's got to be that. And wow, good night, says Bedtime Story.
Pretty fitting for the name, right? Putting them to sleep right now, giving them a story that they'll never forget, because right now with that Moon Knight, they broke through. And remember, they didn't even get to that first checkpoint.
Yeah, 2 teams with new names, similar players here as the portal unlocks, goes on that top ground. They've got to win this fight or it is over into the lower bracket for Intergalactic. Bedtime Story staying up high with that damage boost from the Storm being so lethal. They've got the Hurricane. We can expect more than a Cat 1, I can tell you that, from Gale here, and they've got the Jeff to follow.
This is a beautiful peel back, though, from this team the moment they heard the Sia. Now we get another kidnap, by the way, with the follow from Gilbert, as well as the Omega Hurricane from Gale. Yes, you can try to call in the invisible boundary, but it isn't going to be enough for Fidel as he gets taken out. You talk about it, Kelsey. This is Hurricane season, and here we have Gale providing what we asked for as Intergalactic are wiped out once again.
What a fitting and cinematic way to put the punch. I told you, it's not going to be a Cat 1. We know what they can. At least you're in Florida over there, I believe, right? So you got yourself Hurricane Season 2 of the biggest degree. 1, 2, 3, 4, getting it done. And that was an absolute dominant performance from RAD.
Not only was it a speedrun for that second map specifically, but it's like the characteristics from the plays that we just saw. First off, that freeze, such a Gale moment. Second of all, the Angela plays from Guru, such a Guru thing to do, right?
And now it's just become what it is, even after a little bit of a nerf. RAD, though, getting the win, and all I know, Vic, is you've got RAD versus either Odyssey or Dreamland. That is going to be such a good map as we see the MVP Gale and the numbers they put up.
That's going to be insane. I can't wait to see how that's going to play out, especially with the meta that or rather the composition that we just saw roll in. You talk about Gale, and that play at the very end was Chef's Kiss, 15 KOs out here. Of course, don't let the smaller numbers deceive you, because that was literally a speed run of a second map.
No, I mean, seriously, clock it, right? I mean, you got to look at the website and see what the